this lesson is all about how to play your minor pentatonic in the correct position every time. This is the thing. Now, what tends to happen is it's part of this blunderbuss approach that people do with the minor pentatonic, and it's not their fault. They don't know where to play it. And this is the thing. It's getting it in the correct position, and that's what we're going to look at today. So if you find yourself wondering why some of the notes that you play sound a little bit out of tune and not with the music, but some are okay, then chances are that you are playing your minor pentatonic, your box one minor pentatonic, in the wrong position. Now, the box one minor position is really this one here. So if I play this here, you've got this box one in the of the minor pentatonic here. This one is the most important of the minor pentatonics because this is the one that gets used in all the licks by all your favorite artists, the Stevie Ray Vaughans, the Jimi Hendrix, the Jimmy Pages. Everybody uses this scale, and this is kind of why it has become the epicenter for all your lead work, for all your soloing and your improvisation and everything else like that. But what's more important is that box pattern is super important for reverse engineering. If you want to learn a song that has that in it, then it makes sense that you understand where it comes from. Now, what happens is that generally when people start to learn a song and say it's they think it's in A, they might think it's in A, but it actually might not be in A. It might be in A minor, which is a different story. It might be in an A blues, and if that's a blues, then it might be a dominant blues, which means you are bringing in all these seventh chords. If you haven't seen that video about seventh chords, the two shapes, that's an easy learn, something you can add to your bag of tricks that will help you to flesh out more bluesy type stuff. But the thing is, so what happens is they will put that minor pentatonic on top of a blues, and because it works on a blues, it's kind of easy to assume that it fits on everything else. But if you have a standard sort of pop song or rock song or something that uses more than those chords from a blues, that mixes minors and majors, and you are trying to get the scale right, chances are you will put it in the wrong position. I'm going to show you a quick kind of trick towards the end of this to help you to get there straight away without even really thinking about it. It's just about moving into that position and you get there. But I have to do a little bit of background on this, because what we need to do, what you really need to do, is understand key. Now, the way to think of key is it's a family of chords that are derived or made from a parent major scale. Now, that's the most important thing that you need to know, is that major key is the most important thing. That's the foundation of all Western music. This is, your pop, your rock, and your blues, and your jazz, and all that sort of stuff, all that good stuff. So you need to have a good understanding of key. Now, if we look and we think about the notes that we have in a major scale, you may know this as do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So you go, I'll do it this way: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And do is actually a repeat of the first note, which is the root note. Now, all of those notes can become chords. So, and they get built up into chords. Now, the thing of it is we need to make sure we're always in the correct place. Now, there is a video that I did about the grid. Look on my channel, check out the video that is called The Grid, and that is a great way to help you to be able to visualize and see your way around the fretboard and how to play all the chords in any key really, really easy. I even go into this concept a little bit in there as well, but I'll give you an example. Here is the key of G. using the grid. Now the grid consists of this little pattern that uses these three notes. This note on the E string, that's the root note for chord 1. This is the root note for chord 4. This is the root note for chord 5. So 1, 4, 5. Now those three chords happen to be your major chords, and they would use, because this is on the E string, we're going to use an E-shaped bar chord. So we would go from that 6th string, the E string there. Or if I move down to this one, because this note here is on the A string, I would play an A shape. And I'm using my 3rd finger to make that A shape all the way across there. If that's a struggle for you, you can use your pinky. Yeah. And then moving that up 2 frets, that would give me chord 5. So 1, 4, that outlines my major chords in that key. So now there is an equal and opposite L shape, if you will, that intersects into that, and that is where I play my minor chords. So I'm on the A string here, so I'm going to play an A minor chord. Move over to the E string, I would play a minor chord here. Move down here, down 2 frets, or a whole step, if you want to think of that in American, then that would give me my minor chords. So just to recap on that, 3 minor chords, 3 major chords. I hope you can see that. It's worthwhile checking out a big, like I say, a bigger explanation on the grid in one of the other videos. But the thing of this is, if I was in the key of G, what most people do commonly, because that's what they do, is they would start to play the minor pentatonic on the same note, the same root note as the key. Now that's okay if these chords are blues chords, like I demonstrated in that blues chords video. So I could play that minor pentatonic there, and that works. But what you'll notice is that if I play that 1, 4, 5 there for the key of G proper, then I add that 6th fret in from that minor pentatonic. Now if I play those chords, can you hear that note is out? And that's where the temptation comes in to bend it. You can bend it to escape. Yeah, that does work. That's a good escape route. Bending is always a great way to get out of any bum notes. If you hit a bum note, bend your way out of it. So we've got these ones here. So we've got these ones here. The reality of the situation is that this minor pentatonic doesn't really live on top of this chord, because this is a major chord. If you play a minor scale on top of it, you will get a clash in some of those notes. Some of the notes will sound great, some of them will sound awful. And that's the difference. That's when, you know, if you play along to backing tracks, then this is a problem that you may have encountered. So if it is a minor key, however, then you're playing in the correct position, as long as that is chord 6. And this is the key to it all. Literally, the key to the key is what you do is you place the minor pentatonic on chord 6. If this is chord 1, this is chord 2, which is the minor. This is chord 3, chord 4, chord 5, chord 6. Now, chord 6 here in the key of G happens to be E minor, and that would be the minor pentatonic that lives in the key of G. It shares the same notes. It shares exactly the same notes as the key of G, and that's why it fits. That's why it works. it always sounds in tune. Right, so you can see I could play my minor pentatonic from that root note there, and I'm just playing it within one octave. You can hear the octave there. A cool thing to think about with octaves is that the octaves are essentially bookends. They are there to hold other notes in place, and those other notes can give you different colors. If you think about a bookshelf and you had one bookend and another bookend, it's up to you what books you put in between, and that's a good way to think of scales. But all scales start with one note and it repeats an octave higher. So it doesn't matter what you put in the middle, harmonic minor, major. So I'm still using the same two notes there in those patterns. So, right, okay, so how are we going to find the easy way around this? And there is an easy way to think about this, as long as you understand and know which key you are in. So there's a key to understanding key. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a cheat sheet for your keys in the description later on this evening, and I will put links as well to the other videos so that you can just click on them and go straight through and go and practice that stuff. You know, get your guitar out and go and do it. So on that note, here is the way that you want to think about it. I'm going to change key because this is going to demonstrate things a little bit easier, hopefully. I'll answer questions at the end if you have any. This is the key of A. Now remember what I said about the grid. The grid works 1, 4, 5. These little angled bracket shapes. There's my majors. Now there's my minors. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you hear the major scale coming in there? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That's just to finish it off. But sixth note, the 6th fret, yes, the 6th note in that scale is the root note for our minor pentatonic proper. But chances are, starting on this note isn't going to be logical to you because it doesn't drop on that box 1 of the minor pentatonic. This is when it becomes useful to be able to see the other box patterns which I have in a playlist. I've put together a playlist. I'll link to that in the description as well. So, key of A. Here's how you find where that minor pentatonic pattern goes. If this is the root note, the tonic, the tone that all the music wants to go back to, it's almost like a gravitation. It's got gravity and it pulls. It's like a black hole. This is what's known as the tonal center of the key. There are tonal centers for chords, but this is the tonal center for the key. This is so that you understand everything wants to resolve back to this one chord here. This first chord here. If I play this, everything wants to go back to that one chord. That's why that is the center of the galaxy for that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that note and we're going to go down a step and a half step, and that puts you in the correct position to play the minor pentatonic shape. Notice I don't say scale because that's now on an F sharp. If we think about it, if I do this here again back in A, 1, 4, 5, 6, the root note of this chord is F sharp. So essentially I'm just shifting the whole thing down here. So there's a chord 1, but you don't need to think of it that way. There's the chord 1, move it down a tone and a semitone. Yeah, this one here. So we take that there, and that's where we would place that minor pentatonic shape. Now the cool thing is you get more mileage out of your licks that you already know. So if I play this here, and I'll play the minor pentatonic in that position and show you that it's not the correct place to play it. Can you hear that? That dissonance? Whereas if I play it here, the chord goes. You'll know you've got it right. Now, the thing is, even though this is the minor pentatonic from here, if we knock that note off there and we started on that note at the 5th fret there, 5th fret that I'm playing with my pinky, what happens is I end up playing the major pentatonic. That would make sense because I'm in a major key. And that takes me up 2 octaves on that note there. So what I can do is I can play that chord there. Your blues scale, your minor blues that you might play now becomes a major blues scale, which is something that you might not have come across, but it's a really, really nice optimistic sound, because the thing about the blues is you play the blues when you're blue to make you feel better. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So yeah, there's the A chord. Back to the A. So to recap, whatever key you're in, say you're in the key of G, that's chord 1, G major. You're in the key of G major, that's chord 1. Drop down a tone and a semitone. That gives you E minor pentatonic that you should play. You could play that in the open position, or we can actually shift it over. Hang on. Now I'm at the 12th position because remember, the 0th fret and the 12th fret are one and the same. Extending from here, this is exactly the same as the first 12 frets. We can use that to our advantage. Remember, I've done this in other videos. 3, 5, 7, 9. Think of this as 3, 5, 7, 9. It's a simple little hack to help you navigate your way around. Say I was in an unfamiliar key. Someone says to you, we're in the key of B flat. So look, here's B, there's B flat. Where do I solo? Well, it's pretty easy, because if I know that this is what the chords are, then what I would do is move that down a tone and a semitone, or a step and a half step, then play that pattern. And you can hear you will always sound right, because the notes that are in that scale are the notes from the key. They're not from outside, and they're always going to sound superb. That's the end of today's YouTube live. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. If you've got anything else, I can keep on growing and expanding this, because my mission here is to help give you ways and routes to expressing yourself the way you want to on the guitar. I am your humble servant, and as such, I would appreciate it if you would repay me by hitting that like, hitting the subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification, because you know, I love to just I have a notion in my mind. A student didn't turn up today, so I have got an hour to spare. So I thought, you know what, I'll just drop on and see what people think. I have started learning guitar, and you face a problem about figuring out the chords. Charandik, what you need to do, dude, is you need to figure out key. It's understanding key, because this is what it's all about. Maybe I should do a video on building chords from the major scale. If that would be useful, then that's a bit more theoretical. I like to give you bite-sized stuff, and hopefully that would be, you know, really, really useful. Coded Toast says G string, but I have no idea what that means. Maybe that's what he's sat wearing while watching this. We do not know. Do you like dropping the G string? No, I don't. Not particularly. Anyhow, guys, that's me done for now. I'm going to go and get something to eat. And thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you visiting my channel, and I love the stuff that's here, and I love you guys as well for turning up. So see you next time. Make sure you do all that stuff. Put it to use. Make sure you put this stuff to use. It's no good watching it on YouTube and not applying it. You will not learn it if you don't do it. Remember that. All right, guys, take care.